Just 4 days ago, my daughter's heartwarming revelation about our life-changing family wedding. Lisa had always believed in the magic of family, but as a single mother, she often found that magic slipping through her fingers. Her quaint suburban town buzzed with laughter and light from the extravagant birthday parties and picnics that filled the summer air, while her own modest home felt like an echo of happier times. At 38, Lisa spent long hours as a waitress in the local diner, flipping pancakes and pouring coffee, all while juggling the endless worry of how to provide for her 10-year-old daughter, Mia. They were simple moments marked by competing responsibilities, but beneath it all simmered an intense desire to create a better life for her little girl. Mia was bright-eyed and full of joy, but with each passing day, Lisa saw that spark dim ever so slightly, especially with the approaching wedding of her estranged sister. It brought a mix of excitement and fear for both of them. Would it be a day of celebration, or would old wounds open again, reminding them of the rift that had grown between their family over the years? Lisa's heart tightened at the thought. Then came the moment that would change everything. Just 4 days before the wedding, Mia unearthed a dusty box in the attic, filled with old home videos. A cacophony of laughter and joy spilled from the screen as they watched a family barbecue, the kind of day that seemed untouched by any conflict. Lisa, youthful and hopeful, danced with her sister, their dreams bursting from the screen like fireflies in the evening dusk. Tears welled in Mia's eyes as she saw the warmth of familial love, the connection she'd always hoped to feel but thought lost to her. It struck her heart a longing for that closeness, that understanding. Inspired, she decided they must create something even more beautiful together. Mia embarked on a mission, rallying the neighbors to contribute anything they could to give her mother's sister a wedding that would honor their heritage. As tales of Mia's grassroots campaign swept through the community, local veterans and fellow diner workers volunteered their time and resources. As Lisa listened to the stories shared over dinner, she became captivated. Heartfelt tales of sacrifice and resilience danced in the air. They brought her hope, perhaps vulnerability could be their strength after all. But as the wedding day neared, the pressure mounted. Lisa felt her insecurities rise, especially as neighbors complimented Mia for her determination. Part of her felt proud, but the other side of her was anxious. It forced her to confront everything she wished to forget: the silence, the gaps in their family's bond, the bitterness that lay beneath. On the day of the wedding, the sun shone bright as they entered a world transformed. Handmade decorations adorned every inch, a testament to the love and unity Mia's project had inspired. Yet, standing before her estranged sister, Lisa's heart raced. The weight of years lost hung heavy. Would this day heal their wounds, or was it merely going to open them wider? As Mia glanced between her mother and her aunt, butterflies swirled in her stomach. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The clock ticked onward, as Mia watched, hope racing in her heart. Could this wedding be the bridge they all desperately needed? Or would the past continue to cast its shadow? Lisa felt the tension in her chest. This was more than a celebration, it was a crossroads. And as the echoes of joy rang through the air, they all held their breath, uncertain of what would unfold next. The ceremony began with soft, heartfelt music filling the air. Guests smiled, their faces a blend of happiness and nervous anticipation. Lisa's heart pounded in her chest as she watched her sister, Grace, walk down the aisle. She looked radiant, but that glint in her eyes reminded Lisa of all the years apart. Mia stood on her tiptoes, trying to catch a glimpse of the bride. Her excitement was contagious. She beamed with an energy that pulled Lisa out of her own mind. Mia's small hand wrapped around her mother's fingers, grounding Lisa just as the sun traced golden arcs across the sky. As the couple exchanged vows, Lisa's gaze darted from Grace to the multitude of people who had come together to celebrate love. What was once a fractured family felt whole, woven together through Mia's unwavering spirit. Those moments carried a whiff of forgiveness and a glimmer of hope. Then, it happened. During the exchange of rings, Mia tugged gently at Lisa's sleeve. "Mom, look. It's so beautiful. Can you feel it?" Lisa nodded, fighting back tears. The moment pulsed with warmth, a flicker of connection ignited between her and Grace. Mia's words echoed in Lisa's heart. Could she really believe that this day would heal them? Was it too late to bridge the gap that had lingered for years? As the ceremony continued, Mia couldn't stay still. She was the bright spark at the center, whispering about her dreams for the day. "Let us dance, Mom. And we must make a toast." As the couple kissed, everyone erupted into applause and laughter. Lisa could see her sister's eyes shining with joy, but she also sensed a void in her heart. Was she ready to seize this chance? After the vows, the reception hall blossomed into life. A table filled with food, laughter that spilled into every corner, and friends gathered. But as Lisa poured herself a drink, the emotional current shifted. Grace approached, her footsteps hesitant yet grounded. "Lisa," she began softly, her voice almost lost amidst the festivities. "I'm so happy to see you here." Lisa's throat tightened. This was the moment. I'm happy for you, too. I've missed you." Grace's smile wavered, and Lisa saw doubt flicker across her face. "I wish we could start over, so much has happened." "I know," Lisa sighed, her heart heavy. "But I want to try." A moment passed, tension hanging in the air like the last notes of a song. Then Grace reached out, her hand trembling slightly as she placed it over Lisa's. "Then let us try, together." Their eyes locked, unspoken promises exchanged. Just then, Mia bounded over, interrupting the moment, her excitement electrifying. "Can we dance now?" They both turned to her, laughter bubbling inside them like a wellspring. Lisa took a deep breath, the weight on her chest lifting just a bit. Maybe this was the start they needed. As the music swelled, the three of them joined the crowd on the dance floor, letting the rhythm guide them. Laughter and twirls spun around them, and for the first time in a long while, Lisa felt light. Boundaries were crumbling, and the fractures weren't as deep as she thought, but suddenly, Mia stopped dancing. Her eyes flickered between her mother and aunt, confusion flashing across her young face. What if we don't get it right? The question hung heavy, echoing in uncertainty. Lisa swallowed hard. How could she answer such a big question in such a joyful moment? She locked eyes with Grace, and they both understood. They were on the cusp of something beautiful, but the past was still a puzzle waiting to be solved. As they resumed dancing amidst the laughter, Lisa's heart raced with hope, but doubt still lingered. Would they truly find their way back to each other, or were they merely navigating through the remnants of a shattered past? Everything felt uncertain, yet one thing was clear: this journey had only just begun. The music pulsed around them, a lively backdrop to the shifting emotions that danced just beneath the surface. Mia spun with the sort of carefree joy that only a child could possess, lost in a world filled with twinkling lights and laughing faces. Lisa felt laughter bubbling within her as she watched, but the urgency of their recent conversation with Grace lingered like a shadow. "Come on, Mom. Dance," Mia called, a wide grin spreading across her face. Lisa couldn't help but laugh, a genuine sound that felt healing. She lost herself for a moment, twirling Mia around while Grace flooded her heart, just as it flooded the space around them. But amid the laughter, Lisa caught Grace watching them, her expression a mix of longing and nostalgia. There was still so much unsaid, threads of the past weaving through their present like an intricate tapestry. Lisa's heart sank just a little. Her resolve to bridge the gap felt as fragile as a spider's web. "Hey! Grace's voice drew Lisa back as she approached with a steady smile. The warmth between them was palpable, even through their uncertainty. "Let us make that toast now, shall we? Before we all start losing our voices with all this dancing." "Good idea," Mia exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "I want to say something too." Lisa felt a sting of pride as Mia clung tightly to each of their hands, pulling them closer together. As they moved toward the table filled with drinks, Lisa couldn't shake her worry. What if they fumbled this moment? What if the words they shared only highlighted the distance they still had to cover? With glasses raised high, Grace began, "To family old and new. To connections we never thought could mend. And to love, the greatest glue." A ripple of applause interrupted her cheerful toast, blending seamlessly into the music still filling the air. Lisa's heart swelled with emotion. Maybe they could piece this together, one heartfelt moment at a time. Mia beamed with confidence as she took her turn. "To all the people we love. And to Mom and Aunt Grace, for being brave." A collective awe spread through the crowd. Lisa felt the burn of tears in her eyes. It was simple yet powerful, and it struck a chord that resonated through the room. She quickly wiped her eyes, not wanting to break the playful mood. "And to you, Mia. For always bringing us together." As they clinked their glasses and shared merriment, laughter echoed around them. Yet, amidst the cheerful chaos, Lisa stole a glance at Grace and saw the flicker of resistance in her sister's eyes. The day was perfect, but underneath, the anxiety remained. "Can we really do this?" Lisa whispered to Grace, her voice overshadowed by the jubilant noise. Grace's face softened, and for a heartbeat, the walls seemed to melt just enough to feel the warmth seeping through. "I want to believe we can," Grace replied, her voice barely a flutter against the revelry. "But it won't be easy. We have a lot to face." Right then, Mia tugged at them both, pulling them into the center of the dance floor once more. "Stop talking. Stop being serious. Let us dance." They fell right back into the rhythm, but the weight of that conversation lingered. As Lisa spun with Mia, she couldn't shake the feeling that this day wasn't just a celebration, it was a reckoning. It was a chance for clarity, a moment suspended in time, and it was teetering on the edge of reality. The music faded into a soft tune, their laughter slowing. Just then, a calm fell over them. Lisa reached for Grace's hand, squeezing as if she could reaffirm their bond. "Tomorrow, maybe we can talk more?" Grace nodded, but her eyes held a trace of uncertainty, a flicker that reminded Lisa of everything they had yet to navigate together. "Don't forget about the cake," Mia chirped, her innocence lighting up the mood as she bounced on her heels. Life was moving quickly, and Lisa recognized the truth nestled within that simple cheerfulness. The next step mattered. What if they didn't just dance free but actually took that leap together? As she glanced at Grace, feeling a blend of hope and anxiety, she couldn't help but wonder what would tomorrow bring for their fractured family. Would they find a way to lay their past to rest, or would it haunt them anew? The next morning greeted Lisa with soft sunlight streaming through the windows, illuminating the remnants of yesterday's joyful chaos. The echoes of laughter still lingered, a sweet melody wrapped in the scent of coffee brewing in the kitchen. As Mia scampered around, she chattered excitedly, her energy infectious. It was both uplifting and overwhelming. "Mom, can we make pancakes?" Mia's voice shot through the air like a spark of fireworks. Lisa smiled, feeling the warmth of family binding them tightly together. "Of course. But only if you help," Lisa replied, her heart swelling with affection as she joined Mia in the kitchen, the room filled with the buzz of morning moments. They whisked flour and eggs as laughter bubbled back and forth. The clinking of bowls and the sizzling on the stovetop created a rhythm that matched the pulse of their hearts. Lisa felt reassured by the normalcy, but in the back of her mind, the conversation with Grace gnawed persistently. They couldn't avoid it forever. They needed to confront the truths hidden beneath the surface. Just then, Mia, her eyes sparkling with mischief, asked, "Can we add chocolate chips, Mom? Like Aunt Grace makes?" "Absolutely." Lisa chuckled, and as they mixed the chocolate into the batter, she steered the conversation to Grace. "You know, Mia, all families have their bumps in the road. The important thing is how we choose to love each other through them." Mia paused, confusion knitting her brow. "What kind of bumps?" Lisa took a deep breath, thankful for the simplicity of her daughter's perspective. "Well, sometimes we just need to talk more, understand each other better. It's like how you and your friends might argue, but then you talk it out, and everything gets better. But Aunt Grace loves us. She wouldn't stay mad if we told her we're sorry, right?" Mia asked, her innocence striking a chord in Lisa's heart. "Exactly. And things might not be perfect, but we can try." Lisa felt a flutter of hope. Her daughter's outlook was a gentle reminder that love fierce and unconditional was always the starting point. After breakfast, Lisa found herself standing in the living room, glancing out the window at the glorious sunshine. Her heart beat a little faster as she thought about how to approach Grace. What would she say? Would it truly make a difference? Just then, a soft knock came from the door. It was Grace. She stood there, hesitating like she wasn't sure if she should step inside or retreat. Lisa caught her gaze, and despite the heaviness still present from the day before, Grace's presence ignited an echo of warmth that diminished the tension. "Hey, I thought I'd drop by," Grace said, her voice cautious, but with a hint of hope. "I made some coffee. Can I join you?" "Of course, let us talk," Lisa urged, inviting Grace inside with a small gesture. As they settled in, Mia bounded over with her usual exuberance. "Aunt Grace! We made pancakes. Want to help us eat?" The simple invitation softened the moment, and Grace's smile widened. "I couldn't resist pancakes, especially if they're made with love." They gathered around the kitchen table, and Mia filled plates with mountains of fluffy pancakes and mountains of chocolate chips. Lisa watched her daughter's infectious laughter intertwine with her sister's tentative smile, each moment weaving a little more connection. After their meal, Lisa felt the weight of the conversation hovering like a cloud, ready to burst. "Grace, can we forget the past?" Grace interjected, her voice steady but soft. "I don't think we can, but we can try to find a way through it together." Lisa's heart fluttered. Maybe they really could do this. As they exchanged tentative details of their past, the music of understanding began to play, a soft melody of reconciliation filling the cracks between them. But just when Lisa felt a sense of accomplishment, Mia piped up, "Hey! Can we sing a song together to celebrate?" The look on Grace's face shifted, a mix of joy and surprise. Lisa's heart soared. Perhaps the simple moments, pancakes, laughter, and the promise of music were exactly the healing they needed. Yet, as she watched Grace's expression transform, Lisa realized that the journey had only just begun. What song would they choose? Would it be enough to mend their hearts, or would the lingering questions linger like the last notes of a fading tune? Lisa felt a mix of anticipation and nerves mixed with the sweetness of pancakes still clinging to her senses. Mia, ever the spirited one, bounced in her chair and clapped her hands, urging them to sing. "What should we sing?" Grace asked, her eyes sparkling with renewed energy. "Something fun?" Mia thought for a moment, her brow furrowed in concentration. "I know. Let us sing You Are My Sunshine. It's our favorite." Lisa chuckled. "That's a perfect choice. Ready?" As they launched into the song, gently harmonizing, Lisa found herself lost in the moment. The warmth of her sister's presence, combined with Mia's innocent joy, wrapped around her, healing some of those old wounds. But in the middle of the song, just as the notes cascaded into the air, the phone rang, shattering the fragile peace. Lisa's heart dropped. She barely glanced at the screen, but the name was unmistakable. It was their mother. Grace paused, looking at Lisa, confusion flickering across her face. Should you get that? It could be important. Yeah, maybe, Lisa replied hesitantly. She held the phone in her hand, contemplating. Their mother had a way of stirring the pot, especially in delicate situations. But maybe this time would be different. With a deep breath, she answered. Hi, Mom. What's up? Lisa. I've been trying to reach you. Her mother's voice crackled through the speaker. Did Grace finally come over? Yes, she's here. We're just spending some time together, Lisa replied, her tone careful. That's good to hear. Listen, I'm planning a family get-together this weekend. It'd be great for everyone to come. I think it's time we all sat down together, her mom announced, her excitement bubbling over the line. Lisa exchanged glances with Grace, who raised her eyebrows in surprise. A family get-together? This weekend? Lisa asked cautiously. Yes. A wedding celebration. You remember the Johnsons? Their daughter is getting married and they invited us. I thought it might be nice if we all go together. We could finally have a chance to celebrate happy moments, her mom continued, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing beneath the surface. Mom, that sounds great, but... Lisa hesitated. She could almost see the ripples of anxiety in Grace's posture behind her. It might be a bit complicated. Complicated? Why? It's family. This is exactly what we need. A chance to mend things. I've also invited the twins. Her mother chimed, oblivious to the disapproving look that Grace shot Lisa. As Lisa spoke with her mother, she could feel the tension rising. Mia was sitting quietly, sensing the shift. Once again, the fragile bond they'd begun to build felt threatened. It was clear that bringing everyone together might just open old wounds rather than heal them. When she finally hung up, she felt different. It could be a turning point or another disappointment. Are we really doing this? Grace asked, leaning in with a mix of hope and fear. A family gathering after everything that has happened? Lisa sighed, looking down at the table, now covered in remnants of their light-hearted breakfast. I don't know. It could bring everyone closer, but it might also expose the cracks we've been trying to hide. Mia suddenly piped up with a bright smile. Maybe if we sing at the gathering, everyone will feel happy. Just like today. The simplicity of her words struck Lisa as both delightful and profound. Mia had a way of cutting through the noise. But, as Lisa exchanged another glance with Grace, she felt a decision looming. What if they took the plunge? But before they could wrap their heads around it, the doorbell rang, interrupting their thoughts once again. Who could that be? Lisa murmured, and a knot of dread formed in her stomach. Would the arrival of yet another visitor change everything they had just begun to rebuild? As she opened the door, a rush of emotions flooded over her. Would they be ready for what lay ahead? The door swung open, revealing an unexpected figure. It was Aunt Claire, with her wild curls and vibrant floral dress, standing in the entryway, a large smile plastered across her face. Surprise! She exclaimed, stepping inside without waiting for an invitation. The familiar scent of her floral perfume wafted through the air, instantly warming the room. I thought I'd come check in on you all. Mia! Look at you! Mia squealed, racing over to embrace her aunt. Lisa felt a jolt of surprise mixed with relief at the sight of Claire. If anyone could lighten the mood, it was her. Hi, Aunt Claire. Grace said, her voice a mix of cheer and shock. Once the hugs had settled, Lisa turned towards her aunt, forcing a smile. What brings you by? We were just discussing family plans. Ah, I heard. The Johnson wedding. Such a lovely event. It's been ages since the whole family gathered for a celebration. Is everyone coming? Claire asked, her enthusiasm bubbling. Well, that's the thing, Lisa started, but Claire waved her hand dismissively, taking a seat at the table with Mia in her lap, blissfully unaware of the tensions lurking beneath the surface. You know, a family gathering can be the best medicine. It's been far too long. Claire continued, her voice a soothing balm. We've been through so much. We just need laughter and joy to bring us back together. Lisa looked at Grace, whose expression was a mix of hope and skepticism. Could this really turn out to be a positive experience? Did you hear what Mia said? Lisa interjected, trying to find clarity amidst the clutter. About singing? Oh. Claire perked up, glancing at Mia. What a brilliant idea. Sing at the wedding? Yes. It'll lift everyone's spirits. Mia clapped her hands excitedly. We can sing You Are My Sunshine. Just like earlier. For a moment, Lisa was swept away by Mia's unbridled joy, but the familiar tension quickly crept back in. The thing is, Aunt Claire, this isn't just a joyous reunion. There are issues. Lisa, Claire said softly, her brow furrowing. Family issues don't just disappear, but they can be worked on. You can't let fear of what if control your happiness. Sometimes the best moments come from taking a leap of faith. Lisa felt a tightness in her chest. She appreciated Claire's optimism, but she thought about their mother, the twins, and all the unresolved feelings. Grace chimed in, It sounds wonderful, Claire, but it could also be uncomfortable. These events can stir up past hurts. Aunt Claire nodded, her demeanor calming. That's true, but that is also where growth happens. Each one of us has a voice, and it should be heard. You just need to ensure it's filled with love, like Mia. Mia beamed at her aunt, the simplicity of her positivity shining through. Caught in that moment, Lisa saw the essence of what they were fighting for: a family, despite the cracks. Maybe singing could be a way to break the ice, Lisa mused quietly, picturing the awkward, yet hopeful expressions on their family's faces as the music began. If it brings them joy, maybe it could also create a space for healing. The thought lingered in the air like the last note of a song, a risky leap waiting to happen. Would they truly offer themselves a chance to reconcile and embrace their shared past? As Claire chatted animatedly with Mia, Lisa looked at Grace, worry etched on her face. But can we really go through with it? What if it backfires? Then we'll deal with it together, Grace replied firmly. But we can't hide from it forever. The conversation shifted back to wedding logistics, laughter bubbling up like a hidden stream, yet uncertainty still loomed, echoing Lisa's lingering doubts. Later in the afternoon, as the sun dipped lower in the sky, Lisa couldn't shake off the feeling that everything was about to change again. Just as they thought they had carved out some peace, something bigger was looming on the horizon. With that, a distant knock sounded again at the door, echoing through the room like a herald of what was to come. Who now? Lisa wondered aloud, gripping the back of her chair. Would this be another guest? Announcing a fresh chapter, or the tipping point that could lead to their greatest unraveling yet? The knock resounded again, sharper this time, as Lisa's heartbeat quickened. Was it a family member they hadn't been expecting? Or possibly someone from her mother's past? She exchanged glances with Grace, who seemed just as uneasy. Their laughter from moments earlier faded, replaced by an unsettling silence. Mia, oblivious to the tension, hopped off Aunt Claire's lap. I'll get it! She exclaimed, bounding toward the door with a childlike enthusiasm that tugged at Lisa's heart. Mia, wait! Lisa shouted, but it was too late. The little girl swung the door wide open, and a gust of cool air swept in, mixed with the scent of autumn leaves and uncertainty. Standing on the doorstep was Uncle Joe, with a frantic look etched on his face, his hands tucked awkwardly into his pockets. Hey, he said, his voice lacking its usual cheerfulness. Uncle Joe! Mia shouted, rushing to him. He crouched down, enveloping her in a warm hug that felt oddly comforting amid the tension. Is your mother home? He asked, his eyes darting to the side as if sensing the weight of the unspoken truths hovering in the room. Actually, she's not here right now, Claire said, standing to face him. Her cheery demeanor shifted, revealing a concern that cut through the cheerful atmosphere like a hot knife through butter. Joe hesitated, glancing over his shoulder as if weighing the severity of his next words. I think we need to talk about the wedding, he said finally, a grave look settling in his eyes. Lisa's breath hitched. She glanced at Grace, who mirrored her concern. What about it? It's more complicated than anyone wants to admit, Uncle Joe stated, frustration seeping into his tone as he stepped inside, taking a seat at the kitchen table. What do you mean? Lisa pressed, crossing her arms. Everyone seems excited about the wedding. But there are things that can't just stay buried, he replied, his gaze steadying on Lisa. The family dynamics are more fragile than you realize. Not everyone is on board with the plans. Lisa felt the air in the room grow thick. In her mind, she had painted a picture of togetherness, a joyful singing of, "You Are My Sunshine," ringing through the air, but now everything felt precarious. The emotional foundation they'd all hoped to build seemed to sway beneath her like weak earth. Mia's singing can be a start, Uncle Joe, Grace said, attempting to mend the gap of unease with an ounce of optimism. Right, Lisa? Sure, Lisa replied weakly, her thoughts racing. But could Mia's sweetness really bridge the deep divides that lay ahead? Aunt Claire jumped in. Joe, let us not focus on the negative. Change is part of life. We need to celebrate that. But what if celebrating becomes a battleground? He said, his voice tinged with worry as he rubbed the back of his neck, visibly agitated. What if old grudges rise up? Aunt Claire opened her mouth to speak, but just then, another unexpected sound broke the tension. A muted buzz emanated from the kitchen counter. Lisa turned to see her phone vibrating. Another notification. Who could it be now? She muttered under her breath, moving to check her messages. As she glanced at her screen, her eyes widened. It's Mom. She's on her way home. The revelation hung in the air. Everyone's breath caught as they all began to process the impact of her arrival. Would this be the moment everything changed, an avalanche of feelings unleashed? Or would it lead to a reaffirmation of bonds the family yearned for? All eyes turned to the door, anticipation heavy with uncertainty. Would they be ready when she stepped inside? Would the weight of all that had been stirred up finally surface? As those thoughts rippled through the room, the door creaked again, and Lisa felt her heart race. The moment was thick with possibility. What could happen next? The sound of the door creaking open felt like a weight shifting, as if the very air in the room held its breath. Lisa's heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and hope swirling inside her. Mia stood frozen beside Uncle Joe, eyes wide with innocence, her tiny hands gripping his pant leg as if he were a lifeline. Aunt Claire stepped closer to the door, her expression cautiously warm, like she was trying to summon the spirit of togetherness from the depths of the uncertainties that loomed. Mom? Lisa's voice was tentative, almost a whisper. As the door fully opened, Lisa caught sight of her mother's silhouette framed against the fading light of day. Joy flooded her veins, quickly followed by another wave of anxiety. What would her arrival mean? Hey, dear, her mother said, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. But there was something reassuring in her presence, Lisa could feel it. Can we all sit down? Aunt Claire suggested, her voice steadying the moment. The family began to shuffle toward the dining table, each step echoing an undercurrent of unresolved tension. I heard you were talking about the wedding, her mother began, taking a seat at the head of the table. Lisa sensed the heaviness in her words as if every syllable carried the weight of unspoken conflicts. Is there something I should know? This was it, the chance for everything to shift, for layers of hidden emotions to peel away. But rather than diving directly into the thick of it, her mother cleared her throat, and the room tensed. I know some things have been said, and I've sensed the worries in the family. Joe quickly interjected, his voice rising above the thickening atmosphere. We all just want what's best for the family, especially with this wedding coming up. It's important. Important how? Lisa felt herself lean forward, a mix of anger and desperation bubbling beneath her surface. Are we talking about just keeping up appearances or actually dealing with what's tearing us apart? Her mother sighed, her chin dropping slightly as if physically weighed down. I never wanted to add to the stress, but your father, well, he has things he wants to share. Difficult things. Lisa's heart sank. Would this wedding become a catalyst for unresolved pain? Mia, sensing the rising tension, began to hum softly, the tune of a song she learned at school, pure and unsullied. It washed over them like a balm, and for a fleeting moment, the heaviness lifted. Lisa caught her mother's eye, and there was a flicker of recognition, of understanding that maybe, just maybe, they could find a way through this chaos. We can't keep running from this, her mother finally said, her voice firm yet pained. Everyone has their stories, and some of them are too painful to share, but we need to try. As the words hung in the air, Lisa felt the knot in her stomach tighten. Did this mean they were finally facing the past, or would it fracture the small, fragile hope of a united family? The door to deep-rooted pain creaked open just a little wider. Mom, what are you saying? Lisa asked, her heart racing again, caught between fear and a desperate need for connection. Just that sometimes love isn't enough to heal what's been broken. We have to be brave enough to face it together. The room fell silent, voices crushed beneath the weight of what had been said. Lisa watched her mother's expression as Mia continued to hum, the innocent melody floating in the charged air. This was only the beginning, and the truth hung there, just waiting to be spoken. What wasn't being said felt almost louder than anything. And Lisa understood, if they were going to face the coming storm, they'd need to do it together. But would they be strong enough to handle the fallout? As she glanced around the table, a shiver of fear and determination ran through her. Could they emerge stronger, or would the cracks become irreparable? Lisa felt her heart racing as the weight of her mother's words pressed down on her. The air, thick with unspoken truths, seemed to close in on her. She glanced at Mia, her little sister still humming softly, blissfully unaware of the brewing storm. Lisa envied that innocence, how she could simply enjoy a tune while the world around her felt ready to crumble. Mom, Lisa said, her voice trembling, what is Dad hiding? What are those difficult things? Her mother's eyes flickered, a blend of understanding and hesitation. It was as if Lisa had cracked open a dam, flooding them with memories better left buried. It's not my place to say, it's his. Lisa shook her head, frustration boiling inside her. But you're saying it's important. It's our wedding. We can't pretend like everything's fine when it's clearly not. The tension in the room shifted, and Aunt Claire took a step forward, her voice steady and warm. Honey, sometimes secrets weigh heavier than the truth itself. If your father has something to share, then it needs to come from him. It won't be easy, but it could bring you all closer. Closer, Lisa echoed, her voice tinted with bitterness. Or just rip us apart. Uncle Joe cleared his throat, breaking the silence that had fallen like a shadow. You know, we've all had our troubles. No family is perfect. But the love we have for each other, that's foundation enough if we choose to work together. Love. That word hung in the air. It felt like both a promise and a challenge. Lisa wanted to believe it, to let it settle comfortably in her heart. But the anxiety within her was like a flickering flame, threatening to ignite. What if we can't handle what he has to say? Lisa asked quietly, vulnerability creeping into her voice. What if it's too much? In that moment, her mother's facade seemed to falter. There's a chance, yes. But you all have each other, and facing it together is a choice you need to make. Mia, sensing the tension, stopped humming and looked up at Lisa, her big eyes filled with concern. Are you okay, Lisa? The innocence of her question pulled at Lisa's heartstrings, a reminder that amidst the chaos, moments of love and connection could still shine through. Lisa forced a smile for her little sister, grateful for her presence. Yeah, Mia, I'm okay. Just a little overwhelmed. Then we can all help. Mia announced, her face brightening again. We can be a team. The corners of Lisa's mouth lifted ever so slightly as she glanced at the adults around her. They were still her family, and for Mia's sake, they needed to find a way through this dark moment. Okay, Lisa finally said, determination rising like a tide. We will face this. Together. Her mother nodded, hope flickering in her eyes. That's the spirit, my love. Just remember, it's about understanding. The truth may hurt, but it can heal as well. With renewed steely resolve, Lisa locked eyes with her mother. When do we talk to Dad? Soon, her mother replied softly. We must give him time to find the courage to open up. As silence enveloped them again, Lisa looked around the table, feeling a strange blend of fear and solidarity. They might have been standing on the edge of a cliff, but the possibility of stepping back and facing the struggle struck a small spark of hope within her. Would they find strength in each other's stories, or would the weight of the past pull them into the abyss? Just then, the door creaked open again, and the noise sliced through the silence like a knife. All heads turned toward the door as footsteps echoed down the hallway. Someone was returning home. The moment of truth was approaching, and Lisa's heart raced with anticipation. Was it Dad? The door swung open wider, allowing familiar sounds of heavy footsteps to fill the room. Their father stepped inside, his face taut with uncertainty but softened by the warmth of home. Lisa felt like everything froze, time suspended as they all absorbed his presence. There he stood, the embodiment of every fear and longing she had felt for so long. Hi, everyone, he said, his voice strong but tinged with vulnerability. The room felt electric, charged with emotions that had been bubbling beneath the surface for years. Lisa took a deep breath. Dad, thank you for coming. There was a brief moment, just a heartbeat, where silence reigned. They were all aware that the walls were closing in, the air thickening with a tension that was more electrifying than oppressive. Then her father silently walked over to the table, his eyes darting to each one of them, lingering momentarily on Mia before resting upon Lisa. I know things have been hard between us, he began, his voice steady. And I've held on to my own fears and regrets about everything that has happened. But we need to talk about it. This wedding means celebrating what we could be, what I want us to be. Dad, we need to hear what you've been holding back, Lisa said firmly, fear and determination swirling in her chest. We can't keep pretending everything is okay when it's not. We want to understand. Mia's small hand gripped Lisa's while the little girl stood beside her, unyielding optimism radiating from her. We're a team, right, Dad? She chimed in sweetly. Families love each other, even when things get tough. Her father swallowed hard, visibly moved. You're right, Mia. Families stick together. And I don't want to lose you, any of you. Lisa felt tears pricking the corners of her eyes. They were standing on the edge of something monumental. Then let us face whatever this is together, she encouraged, her heart thudding in her chest. He nodded slowly, looking at Grace, then Joe, Aunt Claire, and back at Lisa. I've made mistakes. Leaving was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It hurt all of you, and I'm so sorry for the pain it caused. The room shared a collective breath. Lisa could sense the cracks slowly beginning to mend. It's not just about the past, Grace added, her voice steady yet tremulous with raw emotion. It's about where we go from here. Exactly, Uncle Joe chimed in. This wedding could be the beginning of a new chapter. We celebrate our love and learn to forgive the past. Their father took a step forward, his hand outstretched, trembling slightly. I want to be part of that new beginning. I want to work on it all. Lisa felt warmth flood through her as she took his hand, pulling him into the circle of connection they so desperately needed. Then let us find a way together. No secrets. No more fear. A weight lifted, and for the first time in a long time, everything felt possible. The air transformed from heaviness into hope, sparking like a firework into the future they could create. Just as they settled into a moment of understanding, Mia raised her voice, cutting through the newfound silence. "Let us sing. For real this time. Together as a family." Her exuberant energy sparked laughter, and they all grinned, a sense of levity filling the space. "What a great idea!" Aunt Claire exclaimed, her eyes dancing. "Ready?" Mia's excitement was infectious as they gathered round the living room, hands linked together. With a deep intake of breath, they started to sing "You Are My Sunshine," voices threading together, each note resonating in the space shared. Lisa felt the warmth of connection weaving through them, shoving aside the years of silence and tension. In that moment, under that shared melody, the past did not dissolve completely, but it transformed into something they could acknowledge, something they could abandon yet still learn from. As the last notes echoed softly into the air, Lisa's heart brimmed with love. The journey towards healing would be ongoing, filled with moments of uncertainty and apprehension, but it was also lined with an unyielding thread of connection forged in commitment and courage. They stood together, a little stronger amid uncertainty, recognizing that family, with all its complexities, could let the sun shine through the clouds. Filled with hope, they held onto each other tightly, embracing a future as intertwined hearts, and Lisa knew, without a doubt, they would face every challenge together. Now, it's your turn. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss our next exclusive stories that touch your heart. Leave a like now to fuel the algorithm and push our community even closer. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this transformation. We love hearing from you, and don't wait not even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this emotional journey of healing and connection. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.